Hello and welcome back to my small little library. If you watched last week's video, you will see it's the same exact setup. I am filming two videos today because when this video goes up, I will just come back from my holiday and yeah, so you have this video, I have to film it a bit in advance. Today, I want to talk about something I've gotten into at the beginning of my booktube and booktalk journey when I started watching a lot more booktalk and booktube, and why I finally have to say goodbye to it. And sometimes accepting defeat is the way to go, I feel like. So yeah, let's talk about book journals. I love the idea of book journals. I like the aesthetics of it. There are so many creators out there who have wonderful, wonderful spreads of book journals, where they keep all of this information and they decorate it and they are so creative in like doing the book journals that I fell in love with that a few years ago now. And I'm a creative person, I would say, but I don't think I'm creative in that way. Let's just say it like it is. But I tried. I gave it a good try because I felt really inspired by it, which I think is cool. I think it's really, really great if you upload and produce like book talk videos and you manage to inspire other people. I feel like that is a really, really good cause if it's like a positive thing. And I was really inspired by all of those book journal videos, bullet journal videos, and what the people just did with their book journals. And I was like, I need to do that. I really need to do that. And ever since then, I've tried to keep a book journal, and that is the problem. I tried. Because over the time, I learned that I'm just not a person to keep a journal. Not a book journal, not a normal journal. I don't even own a calendar. I'm just not a person for that. And for a long time I hated myself for it because I had this picture in my head, this really aesthetic book journal and sitting down in the evening and journaling and all of those aesthetic videos you see where people do that. But coming down in the end, I always felt stressed doing it. It was never a relaxing thing for me because I could never get the vision I had in my head down into the book, which I think is a big problem. Um, so in the end, I really disliked what I did with my book journals, and then I forgot to do them because I kind of really didn't want to, because I felt like it never looked like I wanted it to look, and I felt disappointed in myself. And then I felt like, why are all these people so much better at that than I am, and why am I the only one who doesn't seem to be able to create like an aesthetic book journal? All of that. I feel like this is one of those topics that managed to create a lot of self-doubt in myself, and I really, really, really tried hard. I have the last two here. As you can see, this bulges quite a bit because I filled it with so much stuff, and it looked like this. I'm not like 100% disappointed in it. I feel like I did the best I could with my abilities. It's all handwritten. Um, but in the end, do I ever look back at them? No. This was just what I did. This one I think is actually the only one I ever managed to finish. Did I finish it? No, I didn't finish it. That's a lie. As you can see, this is November. I always did them for 1 year, and let me show you. This is as far as I came in November of that year. I don't even know from which year this is. This is 2023, and I'm losing book covers that I printed out to put in there that I never put in. And as you can see, I gave up halfway through November. I just never got around to finish that one. And then we have, I did start again at the beginning of 2024, which is this one, and I wrote it. There are so many pages where I pre-wrote the thing to fill out for the books, but I never filled it out. I think I managed to at least do the first 2 months of the year, and then I just fell off. I forgot it. It was too stressful. It didn't fit in my life, and I was just kind of frustrated with the way it was turning out, not being how I wanted it to turn out. And it took me a long time to realize that maybe I'm just not the right person to do it. Maybe, you know, I have so many other hobbies, also creative hobbies, where I feel like what I picture in my head, which I don't really picture, you know, what I think about in my head, what I want to do, actually turns out, which like crocheting and knitting for me does that a lot. Where I'm crocheting a cardigan right now, and it is turning out how I want it to turn out. Which is nice, you know, I'm not using a pattern, I'm just doing it with what I've learned about crocheting so far, and it works out. But with these book journals, they never turned out as I wanted them to. I always felt like I couldn't manifest the vision how I wanted it to look, and the more I watched other people do them, the more frustrated I was with the ones mine turned out. And I realized, as much as I loved those videos, they were really, really unhealthy for me to watch. And so this year I decided to stop watching them because they just didn't give me what I wanted them to give me. Because in the end, I wouldn't really call it jealousy, because I wasn't really jealous. I just forgot about the book journals once I stopped watching the videos, you know. But it was just disappointment about myself, um, that I couldn't really work with and I couldn't really get over with, which made it quite hard to watch the videos. I don't have that problem with anything else. I have to say, like, I really love watching other people crochet, fix electronics, you know, stuff like that, I can't fix electronics. I never done that, and I don't really have any interest in doing that, you know, but I find it cool when people do it. Then with crochet, I love watching people with like incredible skill do crochet and stuff, but I'm not jealous or disappointed that I can't do that yet, you know. I don't have a problem with that at all. But book journals are really the thing that kept making me feel bad again and again and again when I watched them, and so I stopped watching them this year. And when I stopped watching them, I also stopped doing my own, because in the end I kind of realized that I was only ever doing it because I liked the aesthetic of the other people doing it, and it never really fit into my life. But I think it's a general problem with people talking about aesthetic and everything having to be aesthetic. I, for one, I don't watch those like restock videos and the people who like color code everything and stuff like that. I don't watch those videos. I don't really have an interest in them. But I feel like they also are a lot about aesthetics and having like this curated look that you want to have. And for me, actually, book journal videos did that as well. I feel like a lot of them are just like having this curated look of at like reading and making it kind of an aesthetic. And I felt really, I don't know, it's one of those things where I my own fell into the trap of like believing that it's a part of reading, and that, you know, when you're journaling your reading, you are reading more intensely and you're making more out of your reading, and, you know, you are more of a reader if you journal it. And that was one of those traps I really, really fell into, I feel like. And when I stopped watching them this year, I realized how dumb that was and how unnecessarily stressed I was because of a problem that wasn't even a problem in the first place. And I feel so much better now that I stopped book journaling, because I realized that I'm just not the person for it, and I'm not less of a reader because I don't journal what I read, you know. I keep track on everything on Goodreads. That is totally doable for me. I get if people don't keep track of anything at all. I need to do that because I have a shit memory. And it has happened once or twice that I started reading a book that I've already read because I didn't remember I already read it. And Goodreads was a good way to look up if I had already read it. And yeah, that's a good way to do it, in my opinion. There are a lot of other apps out there that do that as well. I just started with Goodreads a few years ago, and I just never made the effort to change to a different app. Goodreads has problems, but it works fine enough for me most days that I can deal with it. It's not the best app out there, coming from somebody who programs apps for a living. It's kind of weird, the choices that they did in there, but you know, that's a different tangent. But yeah, I feel like it made me feel so bad feeling less because I didn't do that, and I felt like it's such a self-made problem, because obviously nobody, like, at least in my opinion, most people who make videos about book journaling aren't like doing it to be like, oh, I'm better because I book journal. But I feel like a lot of those videos come across like that because of, you know, they are produced really, really well by a lot of people, and they romanticize that kind of, I feel like. And yeah, I really fell into that trap, and I feel a lot better now that I got out of the trap and I stopped trying to make myself into someone I'm not. And yeah, I feel relieved, I think, is kind of the thing that, you know, I feel the most about that. Which is weird to say because it's such an inconsequential thing in the end, you know. I feel silly at times when I think about how invested I was in book journaling, even though it didn't give me the happiness that I wanted it to give me. But I feel like it's, you know, things that we need to share for people to stop feeling bad about things other people do. Um, I mean, it starts with like your bookshelves already. How many videos are out there about making your bookshelves look aesthetic and stuff like that? I just sorted my books how I like them. I, you know, it's what makes me happy, sorting them how I like them. I do need to put a few books away, so I need to rearrange a little bit because I don't have space where I need to put the books, you know. But I feel like aestheticization of the bookshelves is also something that like is a lot out there, but I never fell into that trap. I just fell into the book journal trap, and now I don't hate myself for it anymore because I can accept, you know, it was a phase, and it didn't make me happy, but at least I finally accepted that it didn't make me happy. But I feel like, you know, not everybody is maybe at the point yet. So yeah, if you, I don't know, maybe you don't even have the problem. Maybe it's just a me problem. Maybe other people don't struggle with that. But yeah, I struggled a lot with that. And I kind of just wanted to talk about that to get it off my chest, to like close this chapter of my reading journey and just forget that book journals even existed as a trend or as like a thing a lot of people did, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I just not seeing the videos anymore since I stopped watching them, but I felt like 2 or 3 years ago there were a lot of videos about book journals. I feel like that might have tapered down a little bit, so it might have been just like a trend, you know. But I feel better that I, you know, stopped doing it, that I made this video, kind of like getting it off my chest, this like pressure to kind of fit in also, which I had a lot growing up and like being younger. You know, I know that pressure. For me, doing the book journals wasn't really that pressure. It was just that I felt like it looked so nice for other people. It just never was that nice for me. And sometimes we have to accept that not everything other people do can be for us. And, you know, to be happy with what we love and stop doing the things we really don't love, you know. So yeah, this is probably the last time I will ever talk about a book journal. I did in the beginning of my vlogs, I showed my book journal a lot as well, because, you know, I felt like other people were doing that too. But yeah, I think this is kind of like an ending of my journey with book journals and trying to make myself do things that I really don't enjoy doing. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. Thank you if you made it to the end for listening to myself. Just like get this off my chest. I feel like this is nothing more than a video to get this off my chest, but I feel better already having talked about it. And yeah, if you have any opinions to like book journals, anything like that, please leave it in the comments down below what you think about them. Have you ever had a book journal? Do you like keeping them? Were you in the same situation as me? I would really like to know that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!